J vibes, mad dog, yo gang. Yo, even though me hurt, yeah, me still a smile, cause things it coulda worse. God bless me even though me no go church. Yeah, we coulda hurt a long time and I get fight. But mommy never stop pray for me at bedside. Me used to dream about me no karma real, so me no carry me gun without lie, I feel for real. Them want style me team, know them want me avoid me dream. Far when I come from, them never know when me not have it. What me could no vex when time I lavish. So could no mama me can't even stay in the parish. Bring me name to feds when time me leave when I pray, but this some me live up every matic. No sympathy, no sorry. No love for nobody who no dirty like a quarry. Here said the world cold, but never listen to me granny. Now me little life vanish, me no know when me carry it, yo. And you don't know how it feel. No smile for weeks, no say me kill her for months, no say me brother for years. Yo, we talk for me slave. Everywhere me sip and switch up on a bag of police. Long time I no go on, me just living at the streets. Learn from mistakes, nothing ever repeat. Life alright, but me no live trouble free. But me know God real, me have a big a long time and I get fight.
Yo, J vibes, Father gang, fully 6, you know. Yeah, crime can't postpone like party. Brawling man I roll with the party. Whenever they the link cut off like light. Yeah, them can't get we out like rotten teeth. We no soft dog, nothing like cotton tree. Monday on the rise and the office seat. Me I do this fail, Paul and me sheep. Yeah. One team, one dream, never switch up, loyalty me free. Give people me all and they try to break me. Keep me eyes open, strap up like the Navy. Just mankind, and that's why me travel with a one line. Know them a watch me hard, can't drop me guard, me a tell them me down. Yeah, we only have one life, and that's why me never trust mankind. Me know them a watch me hard, one shot me dog, do me drop me guard. Yeah, show me love, them face on the sauce. Me deal with people good, them feel me have a recock. Share the light and they want to see me in the dark, but me militant, that never affect me none at all. Man, I judge a warrior, I can't feel me in the cause. You know, go see me drop me firmer than a prison wall. Leave my cause, go ja. Enough of them want to see me gone. They can't trust mankind, and that's why me trouble with a one line. Know them a watch me hard, can't drop me guard, me a tell them me down.
Shock star, C4, fully 6, one God, yo J vibes.
Yeah, love things wild, make me have to breathe out. Love things wild, make me have to breathe smart. Say I love kill me heart. Yo, bad push, yo, my dog. Yeah, you can't hide from trouble. Yeah, me try run, but when me I go to. Everywhere me turn, me I see the same thing. Them play real when them know them don't love you. Yeah, mankind call my G. Show up them band, make a bust like bubble. Them no want to see the money stacking on the duffel. Yo, fight the jet when they rise, them I go crush you. Yeah, they say watch them. When them organize, we attack them. Every clip fully loaded, every clock them. Pull up on the men's ready, little all 110. Yeah, no mercy for me enemies. Them want to see me fight, but them never see. So we have to run the street when never see. We fight through the hard times, so we never weak. Yeah, we get stronger when them fight. Them want to take my life, so me have to paradise. Up in the night, I see the blood in my eyes. The ones who give me hard, then they love it when we rise. So tonight, me have to talk it by my side. Because me not still loving on my side. Mankind go, tell it like ice. Yo, God, me say, yo, J. Yeah.
Give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in nature that guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. Give thanks. Give thanks. Positive. Give thanks and praise. Dharma. Most people talk about karma, but usually are you the bad people when you do bad? When it come forward around and slap you, that's what I'm called karma. But all when I and I try for the good and I do good, and the good manifest and come right around to I, then that is dharma. Each one teach one step by step. We always say, yeah, we are the student here. Yeah, man. We always claim to be the student. Totally and completely receptive to learning. Truly. Yeah, man, we're not a problem and learn, you know. So we accentuate the good. And we chant the good. Yeah, man. So we choose to stay on the side of good. I share the Windrush information, and I tell you, it breaks my heart when I see the Windrush information. Because more time as you move along, you know, when you reach a certain level and you get some information where you see before, you had before, but according to the level with the clarity we have now, yeah, it's a whole different comprehension. And when me I look upon how the British people, the Aryan British people, come in America, specifically what I'm called the West Indies area, Caribbean area. And them ask we as a people to aid them against the foreign war where them have over there. And because them said them are British, and at the time Jamaica is a British colony, they took it over from when the Spanish have it as the colony of Santiago. So most of the people go over there and fight and help them to defeat Italy, and when the war over, them switch on our people. And all of a sudden, the very Aryan British people, English people, when originate around there neither. Because them come around there in the 900 to the 1000, come from some coal region around there. So this is why I'm tell people in Britain. So the moment you know, get to know yourself, all you have to do is make sure you're not over there create problem. Not break all kind of laws where they're in place. But them can't talk about them are pushing out or them not go no equal treatment. No different from the mainland. It's just a situation where, you know, our people now have the information what we need. So we have all kind of foreign people to teach with. And that Windrush information, there's so much hype, but I say a new one I'm just gonna start watch. I should have just watch it with the eye them. Yeah, man. But them man and I ram for shoot up my things still, you know. Them man and I ram for put a black palm, but usually through me no monetize. Sometimes I can get away for at least a few while sharing the information. Just to catalog this thing on this platform. This Windrush thing here is spectacular. Yeah. A lot of we don't know lot of we not really have the information, truly. Lot of we not have the information. So I go ahead and share it, cause I find it interesting. Yeah, man, we cry within the soul and we say how other foreign people treat our people after them use we up. It's like everybody use we for build up them country, build up them nation, and then them just reject we. At the very same thing with the same Aryan, European, we govern the American corporation. Very same thing. Use we up and then import 10 million of them people and populate Argentina. When you look upon Argentina, you have to look hard for find people like I around those places. Cuba, Uruguay, these places are our place. But we are touched upon the West Indies right now, our little region, our area, our people. Especially for the British, them what the most man that they know and them know the foundation of what the ones them got through. And even I, when I look upon them thing, I have to say, watch. That's why I'm saying not really against the man we have him white wife. Because I see an image with a man and him white wife where over 40 years them there together. And when she choose him as a black man coming to England, as a West Indian, because them not say black man, them say West Indian. As a West Indian, and the people them where the narrative, most of them are come from our island right here. Xamayakha. Boy, it's interesting, man. It's touching, man. The ones the lady said when her family find out that she had date a West Indian, which is a black man, hey, she'd have to move out instantly. So now for we have a misunderstanding. And at this time, it's not like back in the, like the other day when our people know the renter dread type of thing. Right now, people want to go these foreign locations, and all them have to do is look upon the laws that are in place and move the visa restriction from. Just look at the laws that is there, and you can just choose to remove the visa restrictions. Yeah, man, it's about your status. If it's choose to be a slave, then them are going to treat you that way. And when you remove yourself from the slave construct, then you're going to see a whole different light of day. Anyway, the Unwanted, the secret Windrush files. Let's play it and see what I'm going to deal with.
A service of thanksgiving has been taking place at Westminster Abbey to mark 70 years since hundreds of Caribbean migrants disembarked from the Empire Windrush to help rebuild post-war Britain.
It's become part of our national story, the Windrush generation coming to the mother country to help put her back on her feet after a war fought for freedom and justice. But even as that version of history was being celebrated, tumultuous events outside Westminster Abbey told a very different story.
Today's Thanksgiving service at Westminster Abbey is being commemorating the valuable...
When you see pictures of the boat docket, they look so happy, and I want to celebrate it, but I can't, not at this moment.
Sarah O'Connor arrived legally in Britain in 1967, more than 50 years ago.
That's a passport I came over on when I was 6. It's the only one I've got a photo of myself. That's when I was a little girl.
But in 2017, when Sarah went to register at a job centre, she was told that her Jamaican passport meant nothing.
They went, no, you haven't got a British passport, you haven't got a nationalisation number, you're an illegal immigrant. I went, what the hell is a nationalisation? To say you're legal to be in the UK to work and live. It's like, I don't know what country is mine anymore. It's a country I was proud of, but now I don't think I'm proud of it because I just feel it's being knocked out of me.
In 1965, 8-year-old Anthony Bryan flew to Britain from Jamaica to join his mother. The next time he had an airline seat booked in his name was more than 50 years later, courtesy of the Home Office to deport him back to Jamaica.
How could you fight this thing? It was like an alien came down and you couldn't speak to him. And it's like, you felt like they're chucking you away out of the country.
You should seek legal advice as soon as possible if you are intending to stay in the United Kingdom prior to the introduction.
It wasn't for Janet. So I'll be in Jamaica. One day in the way that I got wrong.
I'm not thinking about no celebration of no Windrush.
Judy Griffith came to Britain in 1963, but in 2014, after more than 50 years in Britain, the Home Office deemed that she too was an illegal immigrant.
If you go to work and you pay taxes and you live right, you should not have a problem in this country. But I was made to feel that I had done something wrong just by being here.
Sarah, Anthony, and Judy are all victims of the so-called hostile environment, a crackdown on illegal immigration first introduced in 2014. When they arrived in the UK in the 1960s, their legal right to come here was beyond dispute. Entry documents were minimal, official record-keeping lax. Through decades of changes to UK immigration law, their status remained unchallenged, until suddenly the environment turned hostile. Now the authorities required proof of their right to be here and an extensive documentary record for the whole of their lives in the UK.
Your client has stated that he has been resident in the United Kingdom since 1965. As such, the evidence submitted must be continuous and cover the entirety of the 51 years.
The very same thing them do with the Jews in Germany. Very interesting. I'm just now looking at this specific tape. But look at this is a third Windrush tape I'm looking at, and I find it interesting. You have the one I'm gonna look at before this, boy, that make me cry within my soul, literally. Yeah, man. When me see how them take with military young warrior them, and then 200,000 of them come back to the island and leave, and the man them can't get back to England. And this Windrush thing is when the German, a little German ship named Windrush Emperor or Empire run a one-way trip. I said, boy, them want to full up them, you know, them itinerary, so them will leg us some cheap ticket one way. So all the ones them were British, because we were all British here before 1962. Any man could have just get up and go around a Britain with not, you know, you don't need nothing at all. And if you're in the right capacity, you can still do it right now, according to how the laws are. I know it. Them don't want you to know it. You understand? But them use we up and then them refuse we. You know what I mean? Them come ask you for help and then them reject we. Now we are look on a third tape for me, I look at them, I say this one now I deal with the generations after, the people that come after, where their people were those were sacrificed and build up the bomb out England, them bomb out city. You understand? Manchester, all of them little town here. This is why I say our people is our people around there. What them I call the darkies is us. And then we divide ourselves and start war with ourselves, and then we're going to mingle with some other foreign people who are not West Indian like us. And when them get trouble, we get the blame. But this is the problem, man. And then we now fall for the whole, you know, okey doke, where them say, boy, we have problems, so we just naturally become problem. So we can change it with correct information. We can change it. When we look upon how the Jamaican people carry themselves back in the 40s, the 30s and 40s, the man them proper. The people them proper. When you see them dress proper. Not this ragtag what I say I go on now when I talk about style. It's a mess. I don't know if I'm going to play the whole entire tape. This tape it's kind of long.
Why should I have a receipt from?
But they are them can get this information. It's there. I man just would love to at least document a piece of it. Yeah, man. Just catalog this piece over here.
From in the 70s. Who has a receipt from in the 70s? You know, who has them things? You know, and it's just ridiculous.
I had to say my children's antenatal stuff from when I was pregnant with my children. Can you imagine that? My kids are in their 40s now.
How can I be a legal immigrant if I've worked for 30 odd years, I paid my tax, I paid my national insurance? Then I was British, wasn't I? You were taking my tax, you were taking my national insurance.
It makes you question the whole, what is British? What is Britishness?
70 years ago, the same question was being asked in the corridors of power. What is Britishness? But the reasons for asking it were very different. In 1948, the Labour government of Clement Attlee was in the middle of one of the most epoch-making bouts of parliamentary activity this country has ever seen, culminating with the launch of the National Health Service in July of that year. But another hugely significant bill was passed that same year, an attempt to define Britishness in law. The 1948 British Nationality Act reaffirmed rights that had existed for centuries in common law, including the right of all British subjects to move freely and to live anywhere they chose.
This is what me as a man deal with. This very same 1949-48 British Nationality Act. You understand? So when them come with them 1962 Constitutional Act, when them say them gain independence, I look at it as an amendment to this act. So this is why when me remove myself from being a Jamaican citizen, it was easy for me. I didn't allow the foreign minister's office to be an obstacle, to be a gatekeeper, to be a slave keeper. Yeah, this is why I said them just can't talk to me. Really. And that's lawfully. You get me? All when them in them legal capacity. My capacity supersedes theirs. Here it is. The British Nationality Act. Every person who is under this act is a citizen of the British United Kingdom and colonies. I know that, and my people miss it. Babylon a change it pound right now as we speak. Because me, them a take them cue from, literally, but through my people, not upon the level yet for discover all of these things. It's now that me realize that practically all of whom I see out there, when I look upon what them I bring forward, what makes sense, I can't see my work. It's just incomplete because them not consult with me. No different from a good brother, Sheila. Very same thing. When we look upon Sheila tribal ID, I can show my ID and say, look at the similarity. When we look upon how me even arrange him tribal name, you guys can be. When you look upon the great seal, the nation seal, and listen, salute it. Because it only compliment I for know so what I do is. You know what I mean? It's just that these guys used to be in the Moorish section of things where them have a lot of information. So all them do is them just rearrange it from being a Moor now to being Aborigine and Indian. But this is where I talk about authenticity. We naturally authentic, we are bring it, and we are it. We not fair try pretend to be it. This is why when I come forward, I can just speak this way and just be naturally fluent. Me not fear da 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 da. Me I tell you, say, boy, we were you served, not just by the pale man, but also by people who look like us, the people what them consider were Moors. These are the people who carry the confusion amongst us. Because these are the people who come and then them structure themselves and show us how to structure business with them at the head. And they are the very ones who, you see, are the signatory of all of these treaties. Not none of us. Because we will never give away no place in our house for a corner. We now sign treaty with foreign man, where foreign man get the better part on our land. This is why we burn all of these treaties. And this is why Babylon not recognize them. It's just a guise so them can take over our place and get raw material and use with natural resource or man or labor and build up them place and then them throw we out. Then them reject we. But I said there's good here. Because the British Empire have it good and it bad. You see, because it's the British Empire, all we have to do, is align ourselves with the British power and leave the little United States government of Jamaica corporation. Because that's the business part of it. So the moment I jump out of it, I am now, say, under the British system that's there. And that doesn't mean I'm subject to it. You understand? It only means, boy, when me I move now in my island, the local government, with them Andrew Holness and his successor and all of those ones, the political part of it doesn't apply to me. They are now subjected to I as man, easily. And this is the power of the Ahuuahkhuu Indian nation. This is the power. God see it chipping but now. When me I chant certain way that this thing not really stay. Yeah, man. You have to look out there and see the people and we're authentic. Salute Bit Silly. Salute my king. Anna. We are getting together step by step. Step by step, man. I must say, salute to the Ahuuahkhuu Indian nation in America. Salute to that specific set apart group. Because we really have set precedent and we have set trend. Because we come see a lot of people and do a lot of things, but none never come and step forward as I and say, we are free. As I and said, this is who we are Americans here. Yeah, man, non-African. And this is I said all the way from Haiti to Cuba, including that Dominican Republic, is our place. All of the everywhere in the Caribbean are our place. Everywhere in this hemisphere belongs to us as a people. This is how basic it is. And when we have foreign invaders looking like us, and those who do not look like us invaded the location, we now have to come together as a people and say, this is who we are. We have to find a way for, excuse the differences as a people, as American Indian, as West Indian. Yeah, man, as Ahuuahkhuu people. And where all of them construct is outside of the corporate foreign constructs. So right now, the ones that have all kind of issue, it's real simple for go over Britain without the visa. Because the visa just instead, just come in. So it can't apply to you where I deal with what was before. Is when you subscribe to the new thing, like being a citizen of the government of Jamaica, then certain things won't apply to you. But in Jamaica, you have dual citizenship. You have a British Commonwealth citizen and you're a Jamaican citizen. Dual. I remove myself from the Jamaican citizen. It's too corrupt. Yeah. So now I stand up as predominant king, no equal, my own law with my own society, with even a castle to go with it. And we have a king's house on the island where the government and the general may be occupying. But the king's house belongs to the king. And I am here. You hear me say it simple where people might just ignore it. All a Muta Baruch, I will sit down with them friends and laugh and say, yo, grandiosity, yo. And we don't mind it. Because this is our truth. And when you do any kind of research, like I say, it match up. Something totally different than I want to teach about Africa. I'm glad me I play that tape because it a touch upon what go on here. Not necessarily the mainland, but what pertaining to us here from the Sestuwi KV Act of 1666 to this date, where the British supposed to take care of all our welfare. This is why the British people give us a birth registration form. That is our insurance. That is our sophisticated financial instrument. The mainland have something different, similar but different. And this is when the government of Jamaica put our thing within the mainland Fidelity Trust, what them call FIDI Commissary. Slow down the tape, replay it, and you will catch it. Because I'm not supposed to just talk to on a plane like this. We're supposed to mix it up. Yeah, man. Anyway, I could continue, because it's a new day. It's a new day.
Within the newly constituted British Commonwealth. Some Commonwealth countries had predominantly white populations. Most were predominantly black or Asian. But as Commonwealth citizens, all had equal rights under the 48 Act, at least according to the letter of the law. What the 1948 Act was intended to do above all was to strengthen the ties between Britain and what was called the Old Commonwealth, the former dominions with their large white populations, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the others. And what this act was to do was to make the movement back and forth of white people from those countries to Britain as frictionless as possible. But what nobody in the political establishment imagined for a second was that black and brown people from Asia, Africa, and the West Indies would use their rights under this very same act to come and settle in Britain. And yet, that is precisely what was beginning to happen. And among the first to exercise those rights were hundreds of black ex-servicemen who had already been in Britain during the war, fighting for the nation's survival.
My name is Alan Charles Wilmot. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica on the 24th of August, 1925. And my RF number is 714553. I don't forget that. After the war ended, I went home to Jamaica, but I realized that in Jamaica, there were very few opportunities, and my intention was to leave as soon as possible and come back to England to try and start my life.
Going back to Jamaica, December 47. I couldn't find a job there's nobody offering a job anywhere. I had decided as early as possible, I was coming back to England. One of my sisters, as I said, was in school in Kingston, and she sent word that there's a ship coming called the Windrush.
The Empire Windrush was a converted German troopship, commandeered after the war to take demobbed servicemen like Alan and Alfred back home to the Caribbean. Reluctant to return to Britain empty, the Windrush's entrepreneurial master placed an advert in the Jamaican Daily Gleaner, offering a passage to England at the rock-bottom price of £28.
The ship coming, and I said to my mom, "Mom, ship coming and I have no money." So, and all she said was, "Ask your papa." So that was that. This is my passport to Britain, British passport. I was coming back to the mother country.
And so, on Thursday, the 27th of May, 1948, the Empire Windrush set sail from Kingston.
Many people on the Windrush saw themselves as coming home, coming to the motherland. And so for them, coming to Britain seemed uncontroversial.
We had 4 lads who wanted to come and they didn't have the money. So we had to get them on the boat. So we got them on the boat and we got them off. Those were the days. When I was young and fit, we had a happy time coming. Looking forward to a land of milk and honey.
But in the land of milk and honey, the Windrush was a source of anxiety rather than anticipation. Even before it left Kingston, an urgent telegram from the British Governor's office in Jamaica had been dispatched to the Colonial Office in Whitehall, bearing what was evidently bad news. It read, "I regret to inform you that more than 350 troop deck passages by Empire Windrush have been booked by men who hope to find employment in the United Kingdom." As it headed to Britain, the Windrush became a serious embarrassment, and even, in the words of Prime Minister Clement Attlee, an incursion.
There's anxiety and fear surrounding this migration, this boat that's arriving. One boat, it's not a flotilla. The British government, it's a hostile invasion that's going to be damaging to Britain in some way.
At a meeting of the government's Economic Policy Committee on the 15th of June, Attlee went further, suggesting that the Windrush passengers be diverted to East Africa to pick peanuts.
The plan is to cultivate some 3 million acres with this oil and fat producing crop, officially known as groundnuts, but more familiar perhaps under the names peanuts or monkey nuts.
I didn't. I heard something about it, but I thought. I found it laughable.
But the real joke was that Britain in 1948 was in desperate need of skilled workers like Alfred Gardner. By its own estimate, the government required an extra 1.3 million workers to help rebuild a country shattered by 5 years of war. The labour shortage was so acute that the government had already shown itself willing to take extraordinary measures. This folder details a government recruitment scheme that was set up in April 1947 by the Ministry of Labour and the Foreign Office, and rather romantically perhaps, they called it Operation Westward Ho. This operation and other schemes like it had brought over 180,000 new migrant workers to Britain. Now, unlike the men and women on the Windrush, the people who are described in these documents weren't British subjects. Most of them couldn't speak English, and few of them had any cultural ties to Britain. But the key difference, at least in the minds of policymakers, was that these people weren't black, they were white. They were known as European Volunteer Workers, or EVWs, and they consisted of displaced persons from the Balkans, Italy, and Yugoslavia, ethnic Germans who before the war had lived in Central Europe, and ex-prisoners of war from Germany and the Ukraine.
Now you see the so-called British Aryan people, when they're around there, I give my people talk, them they originate around there. This is what I tell my people long time. Stop make them foreign people are going to talk around there. We're not supposed to take no talk from these foreigners. This is why we are choose to organize ourselves. So when them say a member of the ahuuahkhuu, not a citizen of the ahuuahkhuu Indian nation. When I deal with citizenry, when we deal with citizenry, it's only upon the world citizen level, when we unite with everybody harmoniously. But when you deal with a tribal member, and you have a tribal ID such as ours, which is authentic, then we now go have these issues. We can move about with Jamaica British passport and with tribal ID with no issue. You understand? And we still have a world passport same way where we ever use and get stamped whenever we are moved freely. Yeah, man, this is how we are choose to approach this thing, step by step, with truth. But here we go. No different from when them bring 10 million Europeans in 1880 to 1930 in the Caribbean area, what them call Latin Caribbean. Here we are proof. So these British people were act up. These racist Germanic, some of them, because with the German brethren own the Windrush boat, the captain a good boy. Him at least sympathize with our people. But these people, these Aryan people, see that when I'm coming to Britain, they like vagabonds, and organize themselves, and to this day my people can't organize, but they shall, they must. Them not have no choice.
And among these were thousands of former members of Waffen SS regiments that stood accused of war crimes on the Eastern Front. At its most extreme, it was government policy to give preference to men. Most of them couldn't speak English, and few of them had any cultural ties to Britain. But the key difference, at least in the minds of policymakers, was that these people weren't black, they were white. They were known as European Volunteer Workers, or EVWs, and they consisted of displaced persons from the Balkans, Italy and Yugoslavia, ethnic Germans who before the war had lived in Central Europe, and ex-prisoners of war from Germany and the Ukraine. And among these were thousands of former members of Waffen SS regiments that stood accused of war crimes on the Eastern Front. At its most extreme, it was government policy to give preference to men who had fought against Britain over men who were veterans of British forces, and all because those veterans were black. And whatever their backgrounds, these Europeans were not only here to work, they were here to stay.
Today, new faces come to Littleborough. They are displaced persons. A party of 40 girls gets a real Lancashire welcome.
It's in another file that the racial thinking that operated within the government machine is laid bare. Written more than 3 months before the arrival of the Windrush, it's a warning circulated within the Ministry of Labour by Sir Harold Wiles, a high-ranking civil servant. Wiles writes that the EVWs, the European Voluntary Workers, who are being brought in are coming definitely for permanent settlement here, with a view to their intermarrying and complete absorption into our own working population. Whatever, he goes on, may be the policy about British citizenship, I do not think that any scheme for the importation of coloured colonials for permanent settlement here should be embarked upon without full understanding that this means that a coloured element will be brought in for permanent absorption into our own population.
On a year when I man come out and chant philosophically, and then we are look at these kind of information, well, literally I confirm a lot of the things and what we are put together on a show set. This is who we are. And this is why I for just choose to talk the truth, and I get to, caught up in nobody's feelings. Cause I don't know no white man, and I don't hate no white man. I probably will end up have friends as being white or being Chinese or being foreign, going forward, we're probably more so than the ones that we may have now. I man just rather look at the information as documents where we call evidence and say, boy, pick the truth from out of it and use that and move forward. And them truth, there are some truth where it's heartbreaking, but people not look at it, people ignore it, people so distracted. It's our people, it's still us. And when you think about even the pioneers, the ones that will step out there and go over, they go build up this England and teach them culture. Give England color, because England used to be just a grey, ugly place before my people get there. And when people get there, this is why them have what them have now, and then them reject my people. Here we are look at how them embrace for them own Aryan Europeans from all different places, just like what we talk about. But when it come on to us, them must say we come from some place in Africa. When the African them over there, have to do the same kind of thing, but we are do a fight for our existence. And we have a lot of these Mickey Mouse, Freemasonic, Pan-Africans, all variations, including the Maroon, the Rasta, all of these crazy people who choose to ignore truth and true history. And because some of them favorite entertainers, I teach them mess, them hold on to it. And most of the people live like how we live, and this is why the criminality is so rampant, because we as a people, we don't know ourselves. People are kill each other and them a family member because them lose that love for each other. Once upon a time when you said dinner time, you say all your yard full because you never even your family big. You have family reunion, so no man buck them family in the street and I know them. Now, you will buck your family and start a family with your family, not knowing it's your family. You will buck your family and destroy your family, not knowing your family. Because Babylon separates us so much. Babylon divides us so much. And then we become so selfish. And then we push out so much bastard. A lot of people them we are teach out there, forgive me, but enough of no bastard. And come out of some dysfunctional, you just say, homes. So this is why someone will pretend 1 minute to no want to this and the next minute to not do that. We have to just bring truth so our people can get it, man. We people not for there in Britain in no capacity and have no kind of legal problem in Britain. The man not for go in Britain and talk about them have to live with this white woman. No, man. We have to change these things. I show the people them now look on the laws where they're and I make them fool with some new about this amended and this amended. What was first is always choice. You just have to find what was first and go right there and stay right there. And I make them bring a new thing to you. I feed them laws, Them have to hold up that. Or them come out of them office. That's how it really go. But we just don't know if you approach these things.
On the 22nd of June 1948, the passengers on board the Empire Windrush began to disembark at Tilbury.
London is the place for me. London, this lovely city. Arrivals at Tilbury. Citizens of the British Empire coming to the mother country with good intent. Many are ex-servicemen who know it.
Why have you come to England? To seek a job. And what sort of job do you want? Any type, so long as I get a good pay. Well, believe me, I am speaking broad-mindedly. I am glad to know my mother country. I've been traveling to countries years ago, but this is the place I wanted to know. London, that's the place for me.
This is the old railway terminal at Tilbury Dock, a relic from the moment when the Windrush generation joined the mainstream of British history, continuing their onward journey as passengers on the newly nationalised British Railways.
Well, I get into the 1 hour mark, you know. I can't there out here too long, because, you know, this thing is kind of long, and as I go by, I always want to interject and thing, but I tell you, I already share it in my YouTube community. I forgot to jump back with the Facebook thing, but the Facebook thing gets so busy, I have to chop it off for a second, you know. I don't know what go on for some kind of craziness. The amount of Indian people who are running into my thing. Yeah, man. I have to shut down the Facebook and I said, you know, I don't know what go on over there. So. Too much people. Yeah, man. But I'm going to work with the YouTube and the Twitter where I'm not to see nobody running, I just share it quietly. Not for everybody, you know. For the people where them information you resonate with. Yeah, man. I must say again, salute to the Ahuuahkhuu Indian Nation First Lady, Grandmother Ahana. Salute out there, sis. Complete respect with power. Salute to my good brother, Joel Jaguasi. Free, man. These are free people me I talk about. Salute out there. Salute to my good brother, Dimitri. Salute out there. Salute to my 7-star general, Iron Eagle. Salute out there. Salute to my colleague, Chemist, Sir Hughes out there. Salute my king. I still now left you out Yogi B. Salute out there. Sir Hazel, House of Hazel. These are people who established them house. It's just that, you know, when we have built this thing, we have to just build it in such a way where it's a step-by-step process. And anytime we find that we void any kind of knowledge when necessary, then we stand still. We just no bother move until we get clarity. Once we have doubt about movements or moving, we don't move with doubt. We stay still until we get clarity. So when we are moved, we move with authority. We are moved without doubt. We are moved confidently. And now that I realize that so much people now just learn, but them a take, and them not even try come together to make with reason and sharing, you know, ideas. Them not do that. But we're not gonna say, you know, nothing at all more than we salute the ones them out there. We are choose for the good. We have said freedom, free dominion, free domain. We salute these people. And now we're at a level now where we can say, yeah, you know, this is our home, you know. Our Indian nation are the home for our people here in the West. And when I say West, I talk about the Western Hemisphere. And specifically the people that will look like I. What they would call the downtrodden. When now because we apply ourselves, we have put ourselves in a position where them now can take advantage of us anymore. Them are going to naturally show we respect anywhere with the in the earth, not just in a certain location, in the earth. But we are the pioneers here, so it's going to take our basic step by step. This is why I'm going to follow the ones them out there, truly. And the things them what them hear me, I say, a lot of the things them not get to see what I do. But I must say salute to the free people, complete gratitude, and you know, we are who we say we are, and we, what them call West Indians, the true Americans here, we as American Indians, and when we talk now, we include the mainland. We include the mainland. We say Americas, plural, meaning a whole heap of different location. America, then that's the continent. But we show images for sure, say even those people around Europe, around England, them not originate around there, them look Aryan looking people there. We are so very racist. Them run from the oppression and come around and turn around and oppress my people over there in Britain, in England, them place there. So we have to go lit a fire around them location there so our people can get some light. Yeah, man. And stand up in them sovereign state capacity around on them location there. Yeah, man. That's dormant. So make some good out of them bad. Because if it's good for these foreign European, it's even much better for us. We're literally going to fight the war for the very foreign European. When now I turn against our people. We fight the war against Italy and against the Germans, and them have the very Germans as prisoners of war in a Britain. I give my people problem. You see the hypocrisy. That's why in our place, when I want a Spanish hotel around here, I give people talk. We need our educated people and some of our business people will look like we start buy out the interest in these Spanish businesses, all of these foreign businesses. We have to look to these things. We have to look for tech back interest in our place. We're going to need a Air Jamaica airline for ourselves. We're going to need a railway system actively open. We need all of these things up and running. Them things are necessary, and a railway, and not just for backside. It's for going at every single parish. Every parish have a railway station. So who choose for going in a country by the railway, there is a railway. Who choose to go by the bus, there is bus. Who choose to drive them car, there is car. We have to open up this place and stop make these foreign people come here and have we stuck in a one corner. In some little ghetto area or in some little area where everywhere else I shoot them up community. We can't go outside. Don't go out, it's too dangerous. We have to change it, man. We really have to make a concerted effort to become better. Yeah, man, one of the first things we have to carry ourselves accordingly. Yeah, and as we go, you know, we structure standard, a conduct for ourselves so we can be the example to others. We as ahuuahkhuu people. Again, my people. Pass we are pass through, you know. And when I mind I call out with people, you know. Call them out. Hardcore.
Yo, bang, yo, Villa.
Mad.
Yep.
Old boy. This minute me no want to see it round me. Next minute me no want to left it lonely. This minute me a walk with a forfeit. Next minute me a ball for me heart. Just make them lift up your luck to your punch out. Still right from the bar. See nothing but dark when me looking at glass. Me a suffer from something named paranoia. We can't sleep if me kill a dog over fire. Rifle sing like a Mariah. My heart scrape up like me left it on a wire. Me no leave it. Always heavy, them take my life, but me always heavy. Ramp with the chica, come can't play tennis, yo. Me no leave it. But kill me, say me a left it a stranger, that's a lot. Always ready when drop top there, so me always tell him. Me no like for gun, and it time to get ice and gun. When I switch up, me no like it ground. Me dip on the hills, I scope them up with a suppressor up on the rifle front. I had feared me one myself, I try to love. Now I don't see him, I walk with faith. God that will call me, help myself with the care. Give me just great things done, set away. Tell my girl things change, and I love letter days. This minute me no want to see it round me. Next minute me no want to left it lonely. This minute me a walk with a forfeit. Next minute me a ball for me heart. Just make them lift up your love to your punch out. Still right from the past. See nothing but dark when me looking at glass. Coming me no leave it. Always ready, don't take my life, but me always heavy. Ramp with the chica, come we can't play tennis, yo. Me no leave it. But kill me, say me a left it a stranger, I sell out always ready when drop top there, so me always tell me protection, love and affection, every time very extended like a forget pan. In a high school, me and my spinners I do exam. We make people cross like I never pedestrian. Charging me, wish me have a nigga we make bounce. And fight up the boom down anywhere we make drunk. We go in any district like bread fun. And anybody breed, I must marry we pregnant. Me nah let nothing, me have 2 Drake, come call them cousin. Me I see what them a think, because they come. The alien chrome like small belt buckle. Me carry the 15 like it's no way or nothing. Me wish the Benelli could have fire like dozen. Me brown in a walk and I know Saddamite something. But who I say feel if it up your mother, me no love you. If me a guy, we chat me up, we try something.